Today, after 3 years of dodging around this one, we're going to be reviewing a flavoured water masquerading as a gin. We're going to be reviewing the original flavoured water masquerading as a gin. This is a miniature of Seedlip, and I'm so glad that they've done these in miniatures now, because it means I didn't have to buy a full fucking bottle and chuck out 22 odd pounds for a bottle of water. There's probably going to be people now that are like, oh, but it's a distilled alcohol-free spirit. And that's not water. How? Okay, alright. I have some previous with this, and I've also tried the Hendrix version called Atopia. There'll be a card. I did not enjoy that at all. I make some very interesting faces in that video. When these were first launched, I was working in a pub in Edinburgh, as I'm wont to do. And these got dropped on our doorstep, and we were like, what the merry fuck are these? And we opened them, and we smelled them, and we tried to sell them, and they flopped. We ended up tipping them down the sink, because nobody wanted it. Because nobody came up to the bar saying, I want a gin, but I don't want to feel it. You know, I want like the flavour of gin, but without like the alcohol. You know, the bit that is the whole reason that gin exists in the first place. I want that. That didn't happen. And yet, despite the fact that we had this encounter with it, these have gone on to do very well, and they have spawned their own little micro category of alcohol-free spirits. And there's a very good reason why that has happened, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to introduce you to the third Seedlip. This is Grove 42. I've tried the Spice. That wasn't great. I've tried the Garden. That was significantly worse. This is, I'm not even quite sure. I mean, there's like a squirrel made out of ginger and peels and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't even really say what it's supposed to be. Distilled non-alcoholic spirits. That's it. What to drink when you're not drinking. And somehow they have registered trademarked that phrase. Non-alcoholic spirit, best served with tonic. So you see here, they don't specifically say it's alcohol-free gin, but they lean in heavy through association. Again, there's another spirit I'd like to talk about. I'd like to talk a little bit about Captain Morgan's for a second. They released something recently called Tiki. It's not rum, but because they use the Captain Morgan brand, people assume it is rum. So they're able to pass off cheap and nasty alcohol that has nothing to do with rum as rum because of the association. Bacardi have been doing it for a few years now. That's where things are going in the world of cheap and nasty drinks at the minute, so keep your eye out because they are actively fooling you at the moment. Keep your eye on that. Water, botanical distillates, 15%. Preservatives, potassium sorbate, acid, citric acid. Gin and rum and vodka, when you make them, you have to pay some taxes to the government because you've made alcohol. You don't have to pay any taxes on this because it's not alcohol. And yet it's going for the same price. Maybe the production costs are higher, but then all you're doing is making a distillate, but a distillate without alcohol. You already have all the equipment set up for that anyway, because you're not going to start from scratch with this, are you? So where's that extra cost coming from? Now, I get it. There is such a thing as psychological pricing, and normally it applies to when you see $19.99 instead of £20. It tricks your brain into thinking it's cheaper. Sort of, kind of. People can actively override it, and a lot of people do now, but it still kind of works. Sometimes if you see like $39.99, it seems cheaper than £40 somehow. Oh, there's a weird smell coming off that. It's kind of like a drain. Okay. If you launched this for a £5, nobody would buy it because it seems like a cheap sub-in product. If you launch it for £20, suddenly, somehow it seems more respectable. Some brands have noticed when you jack up the price for no good reason other than to jack up the price, there's an assumed association with quality. Dalmore do it all the time. They're famous for it, you know, expensive whiskey that is nowhere near the worth of the price. You're paying for the name and that's it. Some people have cottoned on, other people kind of buy into it. Johnnie Walker Blue Label, another good example. It's one of these luxury brands where the actual product doesn't cost what you're paying. You're sort of buying into the club of the label, if that makes sense. And I suspect that's what's been applied to this as well. Because £20 for a bottle, you kind of like, oh yeah, that seems grown up and proper and real. There's something above board about this. It seems to be working. As you can probably tell, I find these products despicable. Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against not drinking. In fact, I openly encourage it. My mother was an alcoholic. So I have no issue with people going teetotal. I openly encourage it. It's very healthy, it's very good for you. I don't think that this is a proactive approach to it. I think that it is trying to subvert the market in a way. I think it is trying to trick people into drinking something that they think is something that it's not. And I just don't see the need for it. But again, we'll get onto that a little bit later on as well when we talk about what to do with these. Oh. Okay. Ginger, cinnamon, something weirdly like a pot noodle curry about it. Yeah, it's like cheap curry powder, which makes no sense. Okay, so to sip it neat, to be fair, I could literally... Interesting. That was interesting. Do you know what? I've always wanted to do that. Just to confirm something. You ever had flavour? You ever had like a bottle of water that you've put like cucumber or something in it? When you drink it like that, it reveals exactly what it is. And I know I'm not the first person to say this is just flavoured water. It's sort of the refrain of people that don't dig this, isn't it? But that's helped cement it in my mind that that is the sensation that I'm having with that. So, flavour-wise, it's water with like faint something about it. I mean, I just chugged the whole fucking bottle pretty much, and I still can't really tell you what the flavour is. And I'd be lying if I started pulling things out my arse to try and make this video work a bit better. It's so muted and ghostly. It's just water with like a cough of something, but you're not quite sure what. It's water with interest. Now we come to the next bit, which is adding tonic. This is a hibiscus tonic. Now, just out of interest. It's a lovely flavour. It's reminding me a little bit of like artificial strawberry, but I'm kind of into it. No change. Literally identical, completely the same, almost, I'd say. It's maybe like a little bit of like a sherbety tang to it, like a lemon sherbet kind of a thing, if you really focus, but beyond that, no. Let's get on to mixing with these for a second. So, for years now, companies have gotten away with producing substandard, shitty spirits. For the simple reason they market them to be mixed. They're not something that you would ever drink neat. And part of the reason why you never drink them neat is because people know they're fucking horrible on their own. So you add Coke, or you add lemonade, or you add orange juice, or you put them in a margarita, or you do whatever you can to get rid of the flavour of the alcohol. So you just have the drug, the booze, in your drink. And I think this is playing on that even heavier. Because rather than having a horrible flavour, it has no flavour, or very little flavour. Because I have tried some which would... What flavour they had were disgusting, but there was something about it. It was like contaminated water almost. So I get why you'd want to add apple juice, tonic, or anything else to it. You get away with pretending that this is something. I think I'm done. Possibly with life, I don't know. Yeah. There's going to be people down in the comments probably that say they quite like these. I can't take that away from you. They are definitely one of the things which I actively despise. I just see them as a really cynical rip-off. And the fact that they're doing as well as they are hurts me a little bit. But at the end of the day, if people are going to buy it, if there's a market for it, huzzah, hooray. All I can do is voice my opinion, my concerns, my protestations in a format such as this. And I'm probably going to get some hate mail from people that absolutely adore these things, which, fair enough, I can't take that away from you. Let me know down below, have you tried alcohol-free spirits? What's your hot take on them? Have you tried them with and without? Like, you know, if they got a cocktail serve, have you then taken this out and then tried it and found, oh, actually, it's not a whole lot of difference? Because I have. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it. Thumb it down if you hated everything I had to say, because I'm kind of curious, to be honest. I'm willing to take the hit. And subscribe to the channel if you want a man ranting about hip new things that Gen Z are doing with their no alcohol, free alcohol stuff. I had a drink.